Good morning, everyone. So we are day 4 of Mission Week, where we would have moved around looking at different sites with our district cooling specialist, DevCo. And here with us today is one of our other valued stakeholders, Mr. Andre Escalante, the Managing Director of Energy Dynamics Limited. Right, so we're taking the opportunity to have a short chat with him. So thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me here, Anson.
Right, he and his company has a lot of experience, which as it pertains to renewable energy and also cooling technologies. So from your experiences within the region, can you give us some insight as to experiences in developing district cooling systems and the utilization of renewable technologies?
Yeah, well, there have been district cooling systems in the Caribbean for a number of years now. We have some here in Trinidad actually. One Woodbrook Place is a district cooling system. The Government Campus Plaza, right across the road from here, is a district cooling project as well. We have also worked on a large one in Punta Cana, Macau for the hotel sector. And we work in one in Jamaica, in the University of West Indies, in Moda campus. It's a district cooling system as well, right? UWI, University of West Indies South Campus, is district cooling as well. So it has been around, but it's not as promoted as much as it should be, in terms of the benefits you get from it. Yeah.
Okay. I know that district cooling could be the platform by which businesses could be spawned. The buzzword is cooling as a service. Could you give us a description of cooling as a service?
Okay, yeah. Cooling as a service is a new sort of service being offered globally. We have heard of subscription model in doing business where you pay for like your Microsoft or your Netflix. You pay $10 a month, right, and you get a service. Well, cooling as a service is bringing that sort of subscription model into the cooling business. So basically, the client, they don't have to pay an investment into the equipment. They don't have to own equipment. They just pay for the cooling as they use it. Okay, and the benefits of that is they get energy efficient equipment. Okay, right? They can get carbon equipment that's carbon friendly. And in the long term, it costs them a lot less than if they purchase outright equipment. So basically, the service provider will purchase the equipment, energy efficient equipment, carbon friendly equipment, and they will do all the work to install it. And all the customer pays is for the cooling they receive. So the risk is more on the shared with the service provider than with the customer.
Given your experience here in Trinidad and also of the islands, what recommendation would you give as to how we could improve the uptake of renewable and energy efficient technologies?
Well, for Trinidad, the rest of the Caribbean, they are taken up into the renewables because energy costs 5-6 times what we pay in Trinidad. But in Trinidad, I think that problem with the subsidies on the energy cost is a huge barrier for people uptaking renewables. Okay, you see more people now. I'm seeing more people interested in renewables now that there's talk about increase in utility rates, water and electric rates. So I'm seeing more people interested in that. So I think it's going to be it's slow, but it's going to change how we do things in Trinidad. But in the rest of the Caribbean, no. The renewables, cooling as a service, those are things that they'll be interested in. Yeah, and will take off. Yeah.
So do you think it's prudent for us to reach out to our fellow islands within the region, to adopt the lessons learned from their experience in adopting the technology?
Yeah, in terms of renewables, definitely they have more experience than we do in renewables. Not many people, in fact, very few have taken up cooling as a service. So I think the pilot projects you're doing here with the district cooling and the learning the cooling as a service model, right? Because I think everybody who have done district cooling have done it for like themselves, basically. But if you do it for like the park you're doing up in Vancouver, and you have multiple tenants, then that model can be replicated throughout the Caribbean. So it'll be a good learning experience for Trinidad companies, and they can take that experience and go outside and do it and earn foreign exchange for Trinidad, which is short, as you know.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Mr. Escalante, for taking the time for this interview and also for the continued support by yourself and your company of the project.
Sure, thank you very much. Yeah, good.
So once again, we are day 4 of the mission with DevCo, and in the room I have Mr. Joachim Nielsen. He would have been part of the mission from Sweden, looking at the different sites in Trinidad and Tobago to give an assessment of their capabilities to facilitate district cooling. But before we talk about, some of the sites that we would have looked at, just to hear from Mr. Nielsen, I know they would have done some work in the region. What countries would you all have worked with and would have possibly done installs of this type of technology for?
Yeah, I would say we have been working on projects in different stages in several places in the Caribbean and in the Latin American region. So to mention a few is the Costa Rica and in Colombia, where they have systems in operation today. And then there are other projects underway, like in Curaçao and so on. So there are a variety of projects underway.
Okay. So for those installations, would you say they are large scale, small scale, or mix?
There is a mix in size, and there is also a mix in what we call the off-takers of the projects, the customers of the district cooling service, ranging from hotels, resorts to hospitals and offices.
Okay, excellent. So you'd have touched on offices, hotels. I know that Trinidad has a large industrial sector, and you would have been able to take a look at Point Lisas Industrial Estate. Do you think that site or that park is ripe for district cooling activity?
Yes, we do. We have been around a bit along the west coast here, and looking at smaller sites and bigger sites. And Point Lisas, we think is pretty much a perfect place for a large-scale district cooling system. They have the off-takers there. The cooling demands seem to be very large, and in combination with that, there is the availability of alternative and renewable sources, like waste heat from the process industries that are in place there. And also they, to our knowledge, draw seawater for cooling purposes there, which we could tap into for a district cooling project.
Okay, so do you believe that potential should be explored?
I do. It might be, it takes time to get the stakeholders together and to really make sure that you have the best district cooling setup or a system design ready for it, but over time, yes, definitely, I think it has a fantastic potential.
Okay, thank you very much. So we heard from one of the district cooling specialists, right? Point Lisas is a ripe prospect for exploration of district cooling, namely because there is potential clients and also the inputs into the district cooling system, like access to seawater and also waste heat. Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
So we are day 4 and we are ending the mission at a high note. We were able to review the 3 sites that were proposed during the expression of interest. We were able to host our district cooling specialists out of Sweden, DevCo, and also we were able to engage the specific district cooling pilot stakeholders. Yesterday we had some interesting discussions, but very fruitful. We are now able to fully chart our way forward as it relates to the first pilot and engage the stakeholders that we have chosen for the second pilot. Right. At this point in time, I'd just like to say thank you to the PMU team, Project Management Unit, the folks at the National Ozone Unit, Energy Dynamics, and of course our district cooling specialist, DevCo, Lars Hagel and Joachim Nielsen, and our foreign support, Anders Holmquist, for making this mission a successful one. Right? Just to reiterate, the Project Energy Efficiency through Low Carbon Technology is aimed at creating a market change towards the utilization of energy efficient, more environmentally friendly cooling technology within Trinidad and Tobago. It forms part of our elimination of ozone depleting substances and also Trinidad and Tobago playing their part in carbon emissions reduction, which would help on the global scale reduce the occurrence of global warming. So, thank you once again as we close yet a successful mission to Trinidad and Tobago.